Hey, what's up? Welcome back, guys. So, today I'm gonna talk about expenses new Airbnb owners should know about. A lot of times people think, oh, okay, I'm gonna go get me an Airbnb and put it on, and boom, that's it. But it's not. It's a whole lot that you guys need to be aware of and also plan for. And that's one of the mistakes a lot of people do make. They try to plan or to do something, but without really doing their due diligence and knowing, what is actually needed. So first, we're gonna talk about furnishing the house, right? Furnishing the house. So for me, I buy cheap things. And what I mean cheap things, I'm talking about like the cups, plates, and things like that. Those are all gonna be cheap. Um, what else? I buy good sheets because you want it to be comfortable, good linen. And also the furniture for me, it has to be good quality, and I like it to be at least can hold at least like 500 plus pounds, because you just never know what type of people is going to rent out your Airbnb. You might have two heavy set people or obese people. I mean, who knows? And I actually had a situation like that where one of my guests, she was really plus size. Like, I mean, probably obese. And I'm not body shame or anything, but this is just for educational purposes. So she was more on the heavy side, and she sat on my toilet, and she messaged me or called me, whatever. I forgot how. I think she had messaged me through the Airbnb portal, and she was saying that the toilet is shaking. I'm like, what do you mean the toilet is shaking? She was like, when I sit down, it's like unstable, it's wobbly, and I'm like, ain't nobody ever complained about that. But then when I saw her on my ring camera, I saw her size, and I was like, okay, yeah. But I said, all right, no problem. Called my plumber. He came in, and he was able to stabilize it even more. So it worked out like that. So yeah. So when I look for furniture, it has to be able to accommodate plus size people as well, and that goes for the bed frame, the living room furniture set, and also the kitchen furniture set, and also the balcony furniture set as well. So that's that. And another thing people forget about is property taxes. So if you're planning on getting a home, you have to look in an area that you can afford, because the more expensive area you live in, the property tax is going to be way higher. And you need to be able to count your finances and learn how to budget to see if you can even afford that. And then you got homeowners insurance. That's another thing. Homeowner insurance for Airbnb is more expensive. But if you don't get Airbnb insurance and you just get regular homeowners insurance, um, I don't think that will cover certain things. So you're gonna have to do your research on that. That's what I did. I got specific. My insurance I got is called proper insurance. They specifically cover for Airbnb everything for squatters, bed bugs, a fire, like a tornado, like anything you could think of. Someone break into your house and like rob you. There was a situation with my community, one of the apartments, not my apartments, but it was in a complex. Some unit got caught on fire. The fire people had to come in, and what they did was, I guess it was protocols. They had to turn off all the electricity. I had Airbnb people there, and I had to fund them because the food went bad in the refrigerator. It was just a whole lot. But anyways, I went through my insurance, not the Airbnb policy. I went through my insurance, and they was able to give me all of the payment back for each day that was damaged or whatever, or like the lights was out. Hey. But yeah, so you have to have good insurance. What else? What else? HOA. I personally hate HOA. I'm not gonna lie. It's like a up and down. The reason why I say I personally hate them is because they tell you what you can and cannot do. And you're a grown ass adult. I'm a grown ass adult. Like, you mean you gonna tell me what I can and cannot do to my own home, or like tell me I can't have short-term rental, because that's what they tried to tell me. I couldn't have short-term rental. And luckily for me, short-term, that's like less than 30 days. But I got mines for more, so that's, I'm good with that. But yeah, if y'all trying to do short-term rental, y'all need to figure out if y'all have an HOA, and you have to ask them. You have to comply if they allow that or not. And yeah, it sucks. My next Airbnb, I'm definitely looking for a property that's not in the HOA community, land that's not in the HOA community, because I can't deal with that. I need to be able to do what I want when I want, and not get permission for shit that, my vision and my dreams from my property. Okay, utilities. Let me tell you something. People do not give a damn when they are staying in a house that's not theirs, in a house that they do not pay bills. So if they're staying at a friend's house, if they're staying at a relative house, they're staying at a hotel, Airbnb, they're not mindful of, okay, let me shut the lights off. Okay, let me not run X, Y, and Z because it's going to run up the bill. I'm going out all day. Let me make sure all the lights are turned on. Let me make sure the AC is at a temperature where it's not going to run up the bill. They're not mindful of that. So you need to be able to set aside some funds for your electricity. And what I do in my case, I have a plan. I'm on a plan where it's basically like one set price per year. So they can run it up as much as they want. It's going to be that one set price. But at the end of the year, whatever that price is, they're just going to like kind of up it. But, you just have a little tricks and things like that on how you could get like a stability payment plan or whatever. So that's something that y'all gotta be mindful of. And hold on, gas, water, internet, trash. If you have trash services, that's a huge expense as well. Repairs and maintenance. Let me tell you, you need to have people on deck and running an Airbnb. When you're a homeowner, you rent out your space, you need to have a maintenance person on deck that you can call to, and or a company that you could call or whatever. But you need to have some reserves set aside for that, because you just never know. People will call you for the most craziest things, like, oh, the sink is clogged up, or like, the toilet is stopped up. Sometimes it could be annoying. I had this one person, she just kept calling like for like the littlest things, and I'm like, did you put Drano? Did you put the what's that thing called, the garbage disposal on? Like, it's just like little things where it's like, you can use your common sense. Don't call me for like a child. Like, sometimes that's like, is very annoying. What else do we have up here? The HVAC system. That's another expense. If it needs repairs. Not saying that it needs repairs frequently, but you just need to have reserves set aside for all of that. And also appliances. I had to replace my refrigerator too. From time to time, I like to like update my appliances just to keep the house looking brand new and whatnot. I'm actually about to buy new balcony furniture sets as well. It's not that expensive, but so it's good. Again, like I said, have a reserve for that. Painting. Do you want kids to stay? So like when I first opened up my Airbnb and I had it for short-term stay, I had no kids allowed. I'm not gonna even lie, no kids allowed, because kids, they would literally damage your property. They will say they're kids, they can't help it, but it's gonna be at the cost of your expenses. So I had no kids allowed. And you got like toilet tissues, paper towels, rags, soaps, all that, trash bags, cleaning products. Yeah, and then you need like to have reserve for replacing that. Sometimes they might damage out your towels. I had this one, well, actually more than one, couple of guests come in, and like I specifically have makeup towels, not towels, makeup rags. I have white rags and black rags. The black rag says makeup. I don't know why they take it upon themselves to just use the white rags for that. So a couple of my white towels and rags got damaged out. That's to be expected. It's white. But yeah, you have to have reserves for replacements of those. But I mean, obviously, it makes sense to use the makeup ones, right? Because I had to replace it unnecessarily. Like, that's annoying. And I would say in all, at least 3 to 6 months of property expenses of funds set aside, because you just never know what will pop up. And yeah. I'll talk about all of this. Yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, it's probably more, but I'm just touching on like the main key components. If I left out something, it's probably like minor, but I wrote down like the main key component key components. So like if you do have a property management, that is not necessary, and I'm gonna touch more on that topic on my next video. My next video is basically gonna be explaining how I manage my Airbnb property from another state. So I live in New York, but I have my property in another state, but I'm not there. I literally probably go there like maybe twice a year, and that's it. Everything is handled. I have my whole team, so I'm gonna explain that in the next video. But if you don't have a team, or don't know no one, you can consider getting a property manager. But again, that's gonna be another expense. And then if you do have a mortgage, right? How much you trying to profit, or how much do you think you actually going to profit if you have a mortgage? Because you gotta be realistic here. You can't put your prices up super high. You know what people are gonna do when they're looking for Airbnbs? They're gonna put in whatever neighborhood they want to stay at, and then they're gonna look at all the other homes around it as well to see what's affordable. And 9 or 10 times they're gonna go with like the cheapest one. Or if you have something that's like unique, like for instance a balcony. Not every home have a balcony. That's something unique and something you can raise the price of. If you have a pool, a jacuzzi, a sauna, you can raise the prices up, and people would pay for that because that's something that most people don't have, and people would pay for that type of service and stuff. It's considered like a luxury. So you need to figure out what the prices is going in that community and try to match it. For me, I looked at my community and I put mine's just a little bit lower. So mine's is the cheapest one around, but mine's look really nice. It has a balcony. It's beautiful. It's cabin luxury like feel, and it comes with a great experience. It's quiet. It's peaceful. So yeah. If you have a mortgage, like I said, you can't really have that price skyrocket high. And realistically, people that do have mortgage, they only be profiting maybe like between $200 to like $600 or $700 a month. It's something, but these are all factors that I'm putting into play that that y'all need to be mindful of. You could also do what is that? I think they call it arbitrage or something like that, where you can rent out apartments. I never got into that or whatever, but you got to get permission from, I think, the landlord or whatever to do that. And who knows, sometimes they might even want to cut, But yeah, so it's just things like that I gotta put all into perspective. And you also gotta think about liars. I had this one guest come in. All she did, the first thing she do, you could tell it was just like premeditated because just how she went about it. She asked me if she could throw a party. There's no parties allowed on Airbnb. She wants to do like a little get together. Me being, nice or whatever. I'm like, whatever. I asked her how many people was coming. And then she said, I think she was like 6 people, but they all older people. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, they old people. Like, I don't think it's gonna be anything too crazy and stuff. So she comes in and she's sending me, the first thing she do is sends me like 10 photos of things around my house, right? Oh, this is dirty. Oh, this has fingerprints. Oh, look at the balcony, it has leaves on it. That one killed me because I'm like, really? We're in the season of fall. Even if I sweep the balcony, which my cleaners did, leaves are still going to fall right back down. Like, we're human beings. We cannot fight against Mother Nature. So it's like little stupid things like that people will complain about just to get a refund. And that's exactly what she did. And I knew she was going to do that. She put in a claim, whatever, to Airbnb. And get this, she only stayed 3 nights. I'm about to call her shit. This dumb lady, right? Because thinking about it just gets me pissed off. She tries to get 90% refund, a 90% refund back. And I'm so happy that Airbnb only gave her $33 refund back. So whatever, $33, that wasn't bad. But you just gotta watch out for people because you just never know their intentions. Sometimes, a lot of times people just thinking to come in for like a free stay, And also you can't put your prices too low because you attract a certain group of people that would tear up your house, mash it up, and yeah, I ain't going for all of that. So I'm the type, I'll have that shit shut the F down. I'll call the cops. Listen, I'll look in the palm of my hands because I got my house on automated. I'll shut all the lights off. I'll put the AC up, put the heat on in the summer. I don't care. I'm that type of person. Like, you gonna get the F up out my crib. And if you do damage, cool. I got your info. Send the cops your way. But other than that, I still have pretty good insurance that covers for all of that. Even squatters, that was one of my main things I was always worried about. But then the insurance policy that I have gave me reassurance, and I encourage it because I still get paid, So it's really nothing to be fearful of when you have all your ducks in a row lined up. Make sure you get your T's crossed, your I's dotted, and you be good to go. A lot of times, like I said, people try to jump into things without really doing the proper research. And then when an obstacle come, they don't know how to maneuver it. They don't know how to go about it. They don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to approach it. None of that. Because they didn't do their research. And that's the sucky part. Not doing your research and then getting, hit with complications. What are you gonna do? You're gonna be stuck. So you gotta plan for the unknown. You gotta plan for the worst. You have to have plans for everything, like good, the bad, like ups and downs, all of that. But yeah, like I said, my next video I'm gonna touch more on how I operate my Airbnb, certain things that I have that most, I'm not gonna say most, but I would say maybe a lot of Airbnbs don't have and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Drop down in the comments if you guys have any questions or want to know about anything in particular, something specific. Like, comment, subscribe, turn our post notification on, share this video, and yeah, let me see. I'm trying to see what else I could talk about before I go off. And then you're gonna have like those people that try to sneak people in. That's annoying. You know, I have my Ring camera up, and they will book it maybe for like, let's say like 3 people, and then it's like a fourth person that come. They try to do little sneaky things like that to get out of paying more. So I'll see them on the camera, and sometimes they try to do little sneak things like stand in front of the camera, and it's so funny. I love the way the Ring camera is actually built, because it's kind of more like a fisheye. So it's like, if this person stands in front, you still gonna see both sides. So they're really not covering the camera. So I had people try to do little sneaky things like that. This one dude, which I can't really fault him for it, but it was him and his homeboy. They booked it, and it was 2 guys. They went out and they bought like a girl bag. You know, obviously they smashed and then sent her back. But I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I understand. Like, but I'm not tripping off of stuff like that. For me, it's more like if you're trying to sneak someone in to have a whole free vacation stay. Like, nah, you're not going to just get a whole free vacation stay. And for like the people that I have in there, like long terms and whatnot, I don't mind them bringing, family over, or like friends to come visit them, or yada yada. Because it's like, if you're staying there a year plus 2 years, like, how the hell you not gonna have someone come over and visit? Because I would want that too. If I book somewhere, an Airbnb for like a year, some change, like, you think I'm just want to be there by myself and not have like a visitor or two? So I don't be tripping over that. When people come through, I don't trip over that. Even if they stay like a couple of nights, I still wouldn't trip over that. But that's just how I am. Every single host is different though. Not every single host is gonna be more lenient like me. Some people is like really like, oh no, this person came in, oh no, they're not on the reservation, sorry, you like, that's trespassing, you have to go, and stuff like that. Reservation gonna get canceled. Like, I don't be tripping for stuff like that. I only trip when they try to lie and try to sneak people in. Like, if you want to bring people over, it's just a simple conversation. Just message me on Airbnb portal and ask me, hey, is it okay if I bring a friend over? Me, more than likely, I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. How long they gonna stay? And that's it. I'm not that type of person that's just gonna be like, oh no, blah blah blah. So that shit, like, people be doing like funny, phony, moving funny and phony like that, and sneaky. So you gotta watch out for those type of people. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, anything else I could think of, I'm gonna add into my next video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm out.